So, Apple is expected to host the next event in the upcoming month of September where they are expected to announce a next generation of iPhones, namely the iPhone 14s, and the next generation of smartwatches as well. Here are all the currently known leaks about these upcoming devices. Let's get into it. So let's start with the iPhone lineup. This year again we expect 4 new iPhones, namely the iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Max, the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The key difference this year is that the iPhone 14 Max will be replacing the mini iPhones. This means that we will get a small spec bump in comparison to the regular iPhone 14, and it will yet be cheaper than the higher end Pro models. So it will have a few more important spec bumps without the more fun gimmicks as the Pro models. This means no third camera and no ProMotion display as well, but instead we will get a much larger 6.7-inch 1080p 60Hz display in comparison to the 6.1-inch 1080p 60Hz display on the regular iPhone 14. Both these phones are also expected to have the same 12-megapixel dual camera setup as last year. This consists of a 12-megapixel wide camera as the main sensor and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera which also doubles as a macro camera. We might see all new colors as well in this iPhone 14 lineup. Both the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max will not be receiving the latest A16 Bionic chipset from Apple, but will instead be coming with last year's A15 Bionic itself. This seems to be very shocking and also a poor choice for cost cutting. The battery is expected to be the same as last year, that is a 3280 mAh battery on the regular iPhone 14 and a 4352 mAh battery on the larger iPhone 14 Max. Overall, both these smartphones seem like a slight disappointment when it comes to the chipset, especially from Apple, and it seems as if Apple is forcing buyers into buying their more expensive Pro models by providing last year's tech in the lower end models. Now coming to the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. The iPhone 14 Pro is expected to have a 6.1-inch 1080p 120Hz display which also supports 2nd gen LTPO, while the iPhone 14 Pro Max is expected to have a 6.7-inch 1080p 120Hz display with support for 2nd gen LTPO as well. Also, the Pro model iPhones are expected to have a pill-shaped cutout for the selfie camera instead of the highly outdated notch, but sadly, we mostly won't be seeing this when it comes to the lower end iPhone models, that is the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max. Both these phones are also expected to pack a 48 megapixel triple camera setup, which is consisting of a 48 megapixel wide sensor as the main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 12 megapixel telephoto lens as well. It will also have a LiDAR sensor for better AR capabilities. The camera bump on the back might get larger with it protruding even more from the back of the iPhone to support the new camera assembly. The front-facing camera will also be getting upgraded, now having autofocus. The Pro model will also have 8K video recording, making it even closer to studio-level cameras. I can't wait to see what Apple can do with this new camera setup, as last year's 12 megapixel setup itself provided stiff competition for Samsung's 108 megapixel camera setup on their S22 Ultra. Both the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max are expected to come with the all-new A16 Bionic chipset, and in terms of storage, we might be seeing 2TB upgrades as well. All these new iPhones are expected to come with a titanium body instead of the stainless steel body which we have been seeing over the past few generations. This though seems highly unlikely. Overall, we don't expect any new pricing as well, and the pricing will most probably be same as last year's iPhone 13 lineup. That is all we have regarding the iPhones. Now let's move on to the Apple Watch Series 8. The design of these new smartwatches will most probably resemble last year's iPhone 13 lineup with flat edges and a flat display as well. In terms of health features, Apple may add a body temperature sensor to this lineup of watches, and this sensor enables the watch to detect when you have a fever or abnormal body temperature, which seems to be a great and useful thing to have in a smartwatch. A software update might add a low power mode to the watch, letting you use it for longer with lower battery usage. Anyways, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave links for both those accounts in the video description. Thanks for watching. This is Techsavage, and I'll see you guys in the next one.